Thank you, Senator Lee, and thank you all for being here on this very important topic. I'd like to ask the other two witnesses today, Professor Rose and Ms. Slayman, whether you have a preliminary opinion on the merger guidelines that have just been issued.
So, like Mr. Dellerham, I have not had time to digest the what is a quite lengthy document, especially if you go to the appendices. I do think this approach of trying to lay out in terms that are easier to understand the various theories of harm and concerns that mergers might raise should be of enormous support for courts that are struggling with some of these issues, often with judges who have never had an antitrust case before a merger case from the DOJ or FTC lands on their docket. So I think that that's helpful. In the context of specifically of the vertical provisions, I've had a chance to look through quickly sections 5 and 6, which are really the core areas that kind of articulate the potential problems with vertical mergers. I think they're quite clear with respect to this discussion about double marginalization and efficiencies. I think these guidelines take a balanced approach to them, which is to say, just as parties will always assert in horizontal mergers that the merger is going to create efficiencies. I've yet, at least when I was there, yet to hear one where that wasn't an argument. And the agencies are appropriately skeptical and ask the parties to really push them hard to support that with evidence. I think these also take that view with some of the vertical efficiencies that are claimed, and I think that's appropriate. To go back to, we keep talking about AT&T Time Warner, but that was something where the Department of Justice credited the EDM. The court then said, well, the profit maximization that gives you with this integrated entity, the elimination of double marginalization, we think that will happen, but we don't think the profit maximization that's exactly the same process that creates the raising rivals cost and foreclosure concerns. I don't think that's going to happen because the executives said, we'd never maximize profits that way. That tension is fundamental in evaluating a vertical merger. I think it's important that the guidelines, I think, are trying to explain to courts some of that.
Ms. Slayman?
Thank you. I wanted to respond in particular to Mr. Delrahim's comments about referring to old case law. I think that case law is still good case law. That's still good law. What the goal of guidelines, I think, always is to merge the law with the up-to-date economics. One of the problems that we face in antitrust law is that old economics is getting enshrined in case law, and I think that is not how antitrust law is supposed to function. We're supposed to be using the most up-to-date economics and merging that with prior judicial decisions. So that's what these guidelines are doing, and I think that's exactly right. That's what we need. So I was very glad to see that perspective in the guidelines.
Happy Sunday, friends. It is happening this week. The Federal Reserve is expected to hike interest rates once again in just a few days. New payments will be arriving in several states as lawmakers approve additional SNAP benefit allotments for select U.S. households. My dearest friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video to find out if you qualify for extra SNAP benefits. Also, this coming Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. My friends, please make sure that you enter the giveaway by clicking and liking several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you watch and then comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Lawmakers are trying to answer an important question, and they debate how much money should be put into the program. That question is, are nutrition assistance programs like food stamps or SNAP benefits hurting or helping those who receive them? A recent study comes from the National Bureau of Economic Research. It found that children who receive food stamps were more likely to be employed and earn higher incomes later in life, making them less likely to be in need of SNAP benefits as an adult. More benefits could be coming through the 2023 Farm Bill, which is passed once every 5 years. The majority of the bill's funding helps to manage nutrition assistance programs. Most of Americans have never heard of this massive omnibus bill, yet it impacts us every day. It shapes our food system, from subsidizing factory farms to funding food and nutrition programs. Many are hoping to see benefits expanded very soon. 4 U.S. states will begin issuing food stamps to households who are eligible for SNAP in 9 days. Alaska, North Dakota, Rhode Island, and Vermont will send out SNAP benefits to every participating household on August 1st. All other states will send out food stamps to SNAP recipients throughout the month of August. Soon, New York City public school families can expect an extra $120 per child. The latest disbursement of funds aims to help cover summer meal costs for families whose students usually receive free meals at school. Since New York City public schools have universal meals, all families are eligible regardless of household income. After pausing in June, the U.S. Federal Reserve is widely expected to hike interest rates once again on Wednesday, adopting its most restrictive monetary stance for 22 years. After 10 consecutive hikes in just over 1 year, the Fed halted its aggressive campaign of monetary tightening last month to provide policymakers more time to assess the health of the U.S. economy. In the week since, positive upgrades to economic growth and cooler inflation data have reinforced the likelihood that the Fed's rate-setting committee will vote for a 0.25 percentage point hike in just a few days. This would raise the federal funds rate to a range between 5.25% and 5.5%. That would be the highest level since 2001. Bank of America's chief U.S. economist, Michael Gappin, said in a recent statement, "We think most committee members believe further rebalancing of supply and demand is needed to ensure disinflation will continue." While July rate hike is now widely expected, questions still remain about how much further the Fed will need to go this year to bring inflation back down to its long-term target of 2%. Since the Fed's decision to pause in June, its favored measure of inflation has slowed less than 4% year on year, while unemployment has remained close to record lows. Economic growth has also been revised upward significantly for the first quarter on the back of stronger than expected consumer spending. The positive economic news has raised the chances of a so-called soft landing, in which the Fed succeeds in bringing down inflation by raising interest rates while also avoiding a recession and a surge in unemployment. Goldman Sachs recently cut its probability of the U.S. economy entering a recession in the next 12 months from 25% to 20%, although remains slightly above average post-war levels. At its June meeting, Fed officials indicated that they expect 2 additional 0.25 percentage point hikes, with the first interest rate hike widely expected this coming Wednesday. Analysts have turned their attention to what the Fed does next. Many economists predict another rate hike as soon as the Fed's next rate meeting in September, while others think it could hold rates steady once more. So due to the uncertainty about September, Fed Chair Jerome Powell's press conference after the rate decision will be closely scrutinized for hints at what the U.S. Central Bank might do next. Well, my awesome and greatest friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Sunday. My dear friends, thank you so much for joining me here and for being part of this community. To say thank you and to show my appreciation, I will be announcing several winners this coming Friday for the Walmart gift card giveaway. My friends, if you'd like to enter the weekly giveaways, please click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed Sunday.